Hey guys! So I went through all of my Supertips and all of my Sharpies. You can see in my last video I went through some of my smaller markers, some of my thinner markers, and my more fine liners. I went through all of those in my pen collection, but then the ones that I have the most of are the Crayola Supertips and Sharpies. So I had the 100 box of the Crayola Supertips. And I've had so many different packages of Sharpies, like just when it's like in a nice array and that little plastic pouch that it comes in, it's so hard to resist. So I have a lot of Sharpies and they're mostly all dried up because I got them like 10 years ago. There's a little bit of ink in them, so I want to keep using them. So I went through all of them. I tried them all out. I tested to see if any of them were dried up, and I tested to see if any of them were exactly the same color, or if they were not dried up, but they just weren't, for whatever reason I didn't want to keep them. They're all mixed up with all my other stuff. So this is my bye-bye box, and I have a bunch of Sharpies in here that I no longer need, and I'm just going to stick with the Sharpies that I have. Sharpies are very useful and very important. When you think of Sharpie, what comes to mind is the fine point Sharpie. It's a permanent alcohol-based ink marker. It has a felt bullet tip. The alcohol base makes for a quick drying ink. It can be used on many surfaces, my favorite being Ziploc freezer bags, but one time I colored an entire Jenga set with different Sharpies, and I definitely recommend that. It is technically a wet erase marker because you can erase it from a whiteboard with acetone. This one says, don't use for cloth, but I think that's because it's not washable. I use Sharpie on clothes all the time. Canvas sneakers, jeans. I made a Sharpie tie-dye video in my younger days. They are also great to use for water marbling and different inking techniques. There are many other sizes, but the only other one I have here is the ultra fine point. It's similar to other fine liners. It has a nice thin line, and the casing around the tip is plastic. So it's hard to really declutter them. My brain's but I can use them. And what if I need to sign the back of a canvas, which I do, but you only need one Sharpie for that. And they usually have a Sharpie at the gallery when you're there. So I swatched every single one. I had 3 piles. One was to keep as is as Sharpies, and I still have a good amount of Sharpies. One box was to give away. Those were the ones that were doubles or ones that were just not cutting it for me anymore. And then I had another one of the dead ones. The dead Sharpies I turned into alcohol ink sprays. So that will be in a video coming up soon. That's the bye-bye box. I went through all the Crayola Supertips and swatched every single one out of the 100. Crayola Supertips. If you want to learn calligraphy or calligraphy light lettering, get these markers. They're affordable, you can get them everywhere, they're washable, and it's fairly easy to learn how to get a fine line and a broad line. You don't have to get the 100 pack like I did, you can get a 12 pack for $3. When I was in high school, in my early journaling days, I think I had a 20 pack that I carried around with me everywhere. These are the ones that made the bye-bye box for those. Not for any reason, they're not bad. They're not bad markers. I did use them. They are used markers. And I'm sure I've used every single one in coloring something, but they are still useful, and I want to pass them along to someone who might find a lot of joy out of them, particularly someone who wants to practice faux calligraphy with it, or real calligraphy, right? So those are the ones that I'm getting rid of. And then the ones that I'm keeping, I have in this here, which I will show a close-up soon, but I have my book that I put all of my pen swatches in. So these are those Stabilo markers that I had. And then the Fude Touch. Those are they bridge the gap between pen and marker. And then here's the Faber-Castell. So those are some markers from my last video. I kept all of these Supertips. So this is 50 Supertips. So I kept half of them. I still have so many colors. I have lots of different shades of green, which is very important to me for some reason. And then these are the Sharpies that I kept. So it's just a limited, curated list. I really love having like a nice curated packet of pens. And like, I honestly was hoping to get this down to even less, maybe like 25, but I just couldn't do it. They're just so good. They're so good. They're still so juicy. Like, they have a lot of ink in them. These are the ultra fines up here that I'm keeping, and these are the regular fine points that I'm keeping, and they're so pretty. And nothing superfluous at all. So I'm really happy with myself there. So let's just take a look at how I organized them, which wasn't really hard because I just put them in the places where they fit, because I already put all of the other pens in their places, so there's only one place where these could go. So let me show you. These larger places were perfect for, like, the larger one for my Crayola Supertips and the smaller one for all of my Sharpies. So I'm really happy with how things are coming together and how things are getting culled away. And now I can really feel like this is my set of markers and pens for me. And it's not confusing, it's not overwhelming, it's just exactly what I want when I want it, and it's right here. So I'm really happy with how that's going so far. Well, that's all I had to say about that. If you didn't see my pen collection video, it's a good one. I go through all of the different pens that I have. Subscribe if you want to see more, because I'm putting out the alcohol ink spray video that's coming out soon. More organization videos are coming out soon. And hopefully more crafting videos will be coming out very, very soon. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!